Damn, welcome back. Good night. Right. So this tier list is not going to be in any order. Sorry, tier list. This is just a top 10, right? So we'll be doing something different with artifacts, and it's worth noting that only 7 of these are actually good. The others just make gimmick characters a lot more fun to play with, I guess, right? So get straight into it. Everyone's favorite DPS unit, man, Naya's just really good. So Dust of Sandman, this is for Naya, obviously. Attack 4.4%. Let's just talk about that subset very quickly. This is very low because over time this one is gonna start lagging behind because Naya, all of Naya's skills scale off her base attack, and her global ult already doesn't even do a lot of damage. Now it's global ult, so we'll take it, right? But then I don't know, 285% with it already low with like artifact stats. Like this thing starts like adding up over time, right? For reference, like most DPS units have it at 5.5%. Anyways, let's get straight into it. So this was an interesting mechanic when the enemy is a Jacqueline. Now instead of actually positioning your DPS unit away from Jacqueline, in this case you may want Naya to tank the very first hit, because right after she gets hit, Jacqueline will be forced to retarget because of this bit. She cannot be hit or targeted once she gets hit. On top of having a mana battery, which is not a lot early on, but then once you start getting up, you're gonna start having like 20% like mana recovery, which if this procs like, it's not possible to do it 5 times, but then around 2 to 4 times is what you usually see it as. So yeah, Naya's already a great unit with an amazing artifact loaded character, which makes it even better. Next we have Arc Metatron. So this is for Mephi. The crazy thing about this, right, is that multi-dimensional analysis is already a global like skill, right? But then it increases that it's a debuff for the enemy, which they will have an increased chance to take crit damage, right? And this just adds a defense right on top of, like, that's crazy. Right, we've already talked about this in the Mephi video. Like, this advanced analysis skill is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Now standard 5.5% level 1, we'll take it. Scales very well with Mephi. Mephi's just a very safe unit to invest in general, so nothing wrong. Right, so next we have Talia Tetra, but yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Once again, like, I lost my train of thought in the Talia video trying to pronounce that. So base stats pretty low. If you notice, 12.5% attack for Mephi, Talia at 10%. That's mainly because like she's a support at the end of the day, and like she only has like one skill, if I remember correctly, that actually scales her attack, which is her ult. So it's not really a big thing, because like the sub skill is just stupid, man. Say you have Origin, right? For whatever reason you have an Origin. This is like 535% of her attack, or 545%, which as a support she already has like fantastic like attack stats, right? So this is just crazy. You're gonna be using Talia to ult a lot. And now a lot of people say like you don't use her a lot in the making for her ult. Like bro, do you not see this? Right, you legendary plus 150% plus a 280% you probably have 430% of her attack for a global ult. That's crazy. Jade has 260%, 320% at level 3, so sorry, 270 at level 1. Right, so whatever. Right, next we have Spirit Calling Incense, which is what's this for? Oh yeah, Petra. My bad. So if you fight Petras, and then Petra is like in between like in the middle of like 5 of your team, 5 members of your team, and she uses that skill, like you already know she's gonna be like getting back that health bar, right? She feels like she has 10 health bars just because of this thing, and this adds it on top of that, where heal over time as well, and she's sucking it out from your characters, right? Like that's crazy. We don't need to talk about the substats. It's just a funny skill in general. Now next one's actually a very underrated one. So if you're familiar with Haru, actually one of the better melee DPS units in the game, mainly because she's a tank buster. I think at level 3, if I remember correctly, 860% damage plus 40% defense shred. Now the 860% is because of damage times 2 when isolated, like the Kha'Zix Q, but we don't talk about that right now. What we want to talk about is the artifact Camouflage. So if you're not familiar, this is Haru's passive, where if she's not surrounded by team members within 3 meters radius, so that's a circle, right, she gets invulnerability. Like actually she cannot even be targeted, right? So does that mean she's invulnerable? No, right? The only true invulnerability in this game is, I believe, Catherine, right? So Pack Hunter, not really crazy, because like the physical magic resistance increase, but then at least she makes her tankier and at the same time dealing a buttload damage, right? So we'll take that. Really great. So base stats standard 5.5%, we'll take it. We mentioned this. Next up we have Prim. So the Prim is actually funny because although it pairs well with Jade, you're never gonna use Jade anyway. Like at this point, I'm not shitting on Jade, by the way. Like Jade's a good unit, one of the highest DPS in the game, but then the ult is just bad. Her sub skills are good though. So Prim is actually a really good support. I actually say she's more of a support just because of her sub skills than a healer. Although the crazy thing about Prim, right, very underrated character because her burst heal is crazy, right? Her burst heal is crazy on the active, and then this just increases, just adds a 30% chance to increase speed, defense, and crit rate for allies by 4%, 16% at origin with a 50% chance to proc. This is madness. This is madness, man. Because right now the best like speed buff, like the only other speed buff we have like for your team is Vivienne, right? That one's at 20%. I believe it increases 15 to 20, I believe, something like that, right? So it's good that we have another unit above speed, right? I mean for the team, because like other characters such as say Renee, rubbish character, already has one for herself. So yeah, like. What language is this, man? I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh, this is Lancer's artifact from Fate, right? So Splitting Spear, again, standard 5.5% attack, we'll take it, right? When battle begins, attack increases by 12% for 30 seconds. Level 1 is not really a lot, but then 20 at Legendary or like Epic Plus, it starts scaling more because like we mentioned, attack, like flat attack percentage increase is fantastic because a lot of these character skills are start scaling off the attack. So instead of like a damage increase to your individual skills, attack would be better, especially the first 30 seconds, which is actually a third of the entire match. Now with Jacqueline being an assassin that starts off, like gets to work right away, right? This is really good because she needs this amount of damage to be able to actually start assassinating characters, especially once you push those higher deficits, right? Okay, fantastic, right? Crazy. So Flag of John, standard for tank for substats, good. So Saint of Battlefield, using Noble Oath adds an additional effect which recovers HP by 3% if Claire's HP is 30% or less. Now honestly, the funny thing about this is that you could probably start using this right away, because the thing with Claire is that she's one of the, like, she's just a rock hard tank. Like, it's crazy. It's hard to kill her, even though she gets into these enemies, like in between the enemies, right, in the middle of them. I don't know why I keep saying that. Right, it recovers HP by 3% extra, which is not a lot, but then the fact that Claire's gonna be if just tanking everyone, this thing starts stacking up a lot and very quickly, because you'll be able to use it 2 or 3 times in a match, right? So we just put her there because there are not really a lot of good artifacts in this game, even though 3rd year out right now. Anyways, next one is one of my favorite ones, Dagda's Club, because it makes Ira, who's already a funny unit to play with, even more fun to play with, right? So Rune of Decline, yeah, 8%, okay, cool. Right, but this is the funny thing about Ira. This just adds so much more sustain to her. And if you're not familiar, she has the highest HP in the entire game. For someone who's not a tank, that's funny. And her defense is almost similar to that of a tank, 26k. Now, for reference, Adrian's is 30k, while the others have 35,000. So this is actually really funny. Having 26,000 defense and HP. Now, she does have the 3rd lowest attack in the game, but this is fine because like most of her skills, like the active, actually skill of her max HP. So just adding the sustain always makes sure that she gets the secondary attack effects from everything. So Ira, funny unit. Will I use her? Oh, probably not. Probably in the future though. We'll see. When Beast actually becomes good. Anyways, RPG 7. Now standard again, but then if you're not familiar with Flynn's passive, she basically has this like stick where 3 meters around her, like Haru, if she's alone in that circle, she increases her damage by 110%, I believe, at level 1, and then around 26% attack increase, I want to say. So those skills like stack like really good together, and then this just paired with the crit rate increase. Oh no, man, that's kind of funny. Like, I want to use Flynn, but she's getting buffed anyway. But I'm not gonna use Flynn, and well, it's just gonna make Flynn an even more annoying unit to fight against. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to explain like, which are the best artifacts you want to invest in, especially with the limited resources that we have. But end of the day, you're probably going to be able to max out everything because this game's just, you know, really early on. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. New character guide for Naya coming soon.